I love this comic book. The Walking Dead, Book 20. A walker trips on Thomas Richard's corpse by getting its intestine tangled in his rib cage. A knife is then seen going through another nearby walker's head. We then see that it is Glenn and Maggie testing Glenn's new idea of how to clear the walkers from the fence. It looks like it might work. Maggie asks Glenn if they can talk, as they haven't spoken since she shot Thomas 6 times in the back. Glenn agrees, but asks to wait until after Andrea's announcement. She has requested that everyone come to the cafeteria. Maggie is fine with that. In the cafeteria, Tyreese asks Rick if Lori is coming, but Rick says she has morning sickness. Then Andrea holds a meeting for the survivors in the cafeteria, and she gives them all brand new orange jumpsuits suits that she found in the prison. She promises to sew some new clothes for everyone for the future seasons, and possibly even make shorts for everyone in the summer. No one is particularly excited for this news, but they all take and wear the jumpsuits. Rick goes back to he and Lori's cell and asks Lori if she's feeling better, but she isn't. She's worried that any of the people in the prison could be just as big of a threat as the walkers outside. Rick reminds her that Thomas and Dexter are dead, and they're keeping a close eye on Michonne. But Lori points out that Axel is still with them, and there is no telling what Patricia could do next. Rick assures her that Axel is harmless, though they are keeping an eye on him, and Patricia is just incredibly naive or stupid. Otis goes to see Patricia, but she tells him she doesn't want to talk to anyone. Bitterly and angrily, Otis tells her he doesn't want to talk to her either, he just wants her to listen. He tells her he doesn't care anymore if she wants to dump him, and that he thinks she's lost her mind. He doesn't understand why she would release Thomas or side with some of the prisoners who wanted to kick the group out. He tells her that she's dead to him, leaving her in tears. Tyreese and Carol are lying on the floor of the gym. She lists her chores for the day and asks Tyreese what he'll be doing, to which he replies that he'll probably just play some basketball. Carol scolds him for being lazy, but Tyreese claims that he has to be rested for the next zombie attack. They are interrupted by Michonne, who's come to lift weights. Tyreese and Carol go to talk to Michonne, with Tyreese asking her if she likes it at the prison. Michonne replies that she does, before recognizing Tyreese as a football player for the Falcons. They strike up a friendly conversation, much to Carol's jealousy. Glenn goes to see Maggie in her cell. He asks her if she wants him to move his stuff out, but she tells him no, and asks him to forget all the things she said to him when she was upset. She tells him she'd just be being foolish to push away a guy who she really likes and who genuinely cares about her, telling him she needs to get laid. Dale compliments his new clothes, and Andrea is glad he likes them. She jokingly wishes he would get rid of the hat, but he tells her that isn't happening. She asks Dale if they're staying after all, and Dale replies that they are, at least for now, as he doesn't see the point in leaving. He then leaves to meet up with Rick. Axel greets Herschel in the yard, but Herschel only glares at him angrily. Axel says he knows Herschel doesn't like him, but tries to assure him that he didn't know Thomas and he didn't like him either. He goes on to say that he knows he's an outsider and that his fellow prisoners didn't leave the best impression of him, but claims he's just a man who made a mistake he paid for, and not a monster, so he'd prefer not to be treated like one. As Herschel continues to stare at him, Axel leaves, but not before giving Herschel some choice words for ignoring him. Rick arrives a moment later and recruits Axel to help him. Tyreese and Dale clear out the A block. Alan volunteers as well, wanting to do something useful. Rick, Tyreese, Dale, Alan, and Axel all go into A block, hoping to clear out the remaining zombies that they didn't kill in the shootout. Rick hopes that most of the walkers got out when Dexter and Andrew left the door open, leaving only a few lurkers and strays. Alan almost shoots a lurker, but is stopped by Rick. who tells him not to use his gun unless they're surrounded, as they have no idea how many walkers are left in the block, and the noise would bring them all to their location. After finding a library, Alan investigates what he assumes is a corpse, but it turns out to be a lurker, causing him to shoot in panic. The group splits up. Rick, Axel, and Alan go one way, and while Alan is taking a break to catch his breath, he is bitten on the ankle by a lurker. He shoots it, and Rick and Axel simply stare, shocked at what has happened. The other group, Tyreese and Dale, hear the scream and the gunshot, but they figure it is taken care of and do not investigate. They open a door to find an enormous generator. Gwen is testing the safety system for the knife so that they don't lose any more knives when disposing of walkers at the fence. They are almost as valuable as guns and bullets here. The knives, not the walkers. And Maggie is with him. She wants to talk with him. He assumes she wants to be rid of him. Turns out when they do talk, that she still wants to be with him. Though I'm now wondering at her real reason for being with him, because once they are all patched up, she tells him she wants sex. I guess my real question at this point is, does Maggie actually care about Glenn or just about the sex? Does Glenn care about her either, or is it just sex for him too? I guess we will get an answer at some point. We will have to wait and see. Andrea's announcement is a surprise. A good surprise to me, but no one seems all that enthusiastic. To me, that's weird. Everyone has worn the same clothes for the whole apocalypse so far. I'd be thrilled to get to wear something different. Maybe they are at a point psychologically where clothes no longer register as anything to be excited about. Andrea was really just trying to give them some comfort. I guess everyone processes trauma differently, but still, an act of kindness should be acknowledged. It was Andrea and Dale who found the prison. Everyone seems to have forgotten that too. I was glad to see that at least Dale thanked her and showed his appreciation. Laura is not doing well at all. I think she is in full meltdown at this point. Between the pregnancy and the stress of the situation, she's just not capable of anything at this time. When Rick checks on her, he finds she's shaking from head to toe. It seems as if she is in shock from everything. Now she has turned her worry focus to Michonne, the newcomer to the prison. Her worry feels more like strategy to me than anything else. She seems skilled at determining who the strongest people are and determines if they are a threat or not. Then she does something to damage how the rest of the group views that person. She's a skilled manipulator as well in this regard. Now she has Michonne in her crosshairs, so to speak. Herschel may be on the road to recovery a little. He's working out in the yard and starting to plant some crops. He's still not really talking, though. The farming might just be physical therapy at this point to try and work through all the emotions he's going through in grieving for 4 children. Otis's just listen with Patricia. She completely deserves it. She has shown her true colors. She is going to pick whatever side she thinks can win. She has no loyalty to anyone but herself. Otis is better off without her. She does make rational or logical decisions and clearly has difficulty fully understanding the possible outcomes of the choices she makes. She could possibly have some other issues as well that we may or may not learn about. Carol and Tyreese are in the gym cleaning. They are not really cleaning, they are just having some alone time. They have an interaction with Michonne. She just wants to do some weightlifting. There is no issue until Michonne recognizes Tyreese and that he used to play for the Falcons. At this point, we see Carol exhibit a bit of jealousy. I find it entertaining. On day 1 of Tyreese joining the group, she was putting the moves on him and flirting with him. Tyreese is not showing any signs of romantic interest in Michonne. Michonne is just talking about football. I highly doubt that he likes the fact that he wasn't very good, and Michonne confirms that. Men are protective of their egos. After she speaks about him not being a great player, I highly doubt that's going to make him break up with Carol for her. Carol could be threatened by another obvious factor, but I really hope not. Rick gets a team together to clean out A block so it's safe. I am personally excited that they found a library. I hope that it will be in future books and we get to see what kind of books there are to read and that it becomes regularly visited. What happened to Alan, though, that's bad. This block is not as well lit or lighted as the block they are all living in. Alan is not in the best mental state at this point either. It was great that he offered to help and is trying to engage. Sadly, they can't see if there are zombies in shadows. As a result, one gets missed. It bites Alan's ankle. Now, we don't see yet if it bit through the pant leg. The material in the pant leg may save him. It may prevent the walker from biting through the material and therefore preventing Alan from dying. I hope for Billy and Ben it does. Thanks for tuning in to the I Love This Comic Book podcast. If you would like to make a donation in support of this podcast, you can through Cash App to Pasta26MC. That's pasta like the food, the number 2, the number 6, M as in monkey, C as in cat. If you would like to sponsor this podcast or advertise on it, please send an email to podcast@pastasworld.com. As always, you can go to